Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. This is going to be a short video. I have some stuff for my patchwork skirt. I technically have 5 rows. Um, I have done 3 for each panel for the front and back panel. It's an uneven number, but I'm keeping the blocks or squares whole. Um, and I'll see where the this seam lines up, but it's gonna be bunched up anyway, so I feel like it'll be fine. Um, I I won't put a pocket in. I know there might be some people like you make your stuff and you don't put pockets. I like pockets for certain things. Um, I don't normally use pockets for my skirts. Like I have pockets in some for some of my skirts, but I rarely use them. So I didn't feel like I felt like it wasn't necessary for me, but I can definitely see the appeal of adding it. I made 2 loaves of bread. The second one was kind of a surprise for me because I was thinking I might as well make a second one and put it in the freezer because I really like how the bread heats up coming out of the freezer. Um, I feel like it's one of my favorite breads that I've, like in general. Like I know I made the bread, but when I heat it up, it just has a different type of not taste or it's still soft. Um, but I figured since, well, I could have done it both at the same time, but I figured I would just make another one. So I have one of them here. I cut into one of them already. And I did work on my motanka a little bit. Um, this video is also, I don't know how short it's going to be, but I'm thinking I'll make it shorter because it's, well, next week there's the term exam and I've just been going and going and going with it, but I have been trying to get myself to rest a little bit too, because um, my brain was trying to take in all of the information for studying and for what's been going on with the US. Um, so at some point, I was like trying to just, well, at that point, I was kind of fatigued, so instead of checking every couple of moments to see if the president was still the president, um, I was like, I need to study. Another thing about um, this, well, yesterday, because it's past midnight, usually it is for me. Well, no, I've been posting sometimes really early. I had my interview with Balakun or Balakun. I had to see how to pronounce it because I heard someone say it another way. So or maybe different emphasis on how I'm saying it. But I'm happy to be on board as a volunteer mentor. It was a thorough interview, and was also asked about if I could make or plan lessons and teach about things that I know or I um, am interested in, or in general, with everything, have knowledge of and interested in. And I was thinking, of course, I make these random videos too. Um, so I'm still figuring out the, is it was Google, the platform or where you go once you're in there. I'm still navigating the site, and even with the Google meeting, I wasn't sure because they gave you a link, and then I don't know if it expired, but I tried going on with the first link that they gave me, and then I was just in the meeting, and maybe I'll start talk or pinning stuff because I have shown the 2 rounds that I have done for both of them, and I didn't bring the other one, so I'll start pinning these together so they could be sewn together, and that'll be my progress. Since it's exam, since there's an exam next week, I haven't been working on it as much as I would like to. Otherwise, I feel like it would have been finished by now, but it's okay to have a paste project. Then I have these that'll go together. I'm gonna see if it's the right way. I took a picture of the sequence. But I was trying not to be annoying because I had the email of confirmation since well, one of the people that messaged or emailed me, and she's from the USA, or she does the USA ones, or, or interviews for USA, I think, and she was able to clarify time zones because when I was signing up on the website, I got like after the confirmation altogether there were 3 different time zones, and I missed the first 2 interviews because I wasn't sure which time zone to use because I was trying to calculate the stuff. So I figured that this would be the time frame that would suit what it's trying to say. And then like maybe the second time I got an email saying that they accidentally called me, and they said that I realized that it's actually in half an hour and I'll see you then. And I wasn't prepared because I saw that like maybe an hour after the email was sent, and because I was figuring like say it was like around 8 o'clock, and then they were saying it was like the appointment was around 8:30, but I actually signed up for like a later part of the day, like probably the latest part of the day, like the last appointment, just to make sure like maybe if the time zones, it would be one that I wouldn't have it like at um 5 in the morning or something. But because I thought the appointment was around 11, already translating it from the later time that I put in. And that was like kind of not really knowing, but at some point I emailed them asking about which time I should go by, and then I had someone contact me, but um, she gave me a new link to go by because I was asking, because I waited in the room meeting for like maybe 10 minutes because I was like, well, maybe they're doing something. So, but then after that, I was like, well, I don't want to miss this appointment, so let me ask them. And luckily, I did. Um, I think it's gonna be fun. I have done a little introduction to myself, and I think I don't know if it's part of the site, but I know there's like the code of conduct with um, keeping each other safe and not giving out like the personal details. Is this even? So I, well, I'm not sure if some put their name on public, and I think maybe the students don't have their names on public. Um, I don't want to give too much away because it's like uh, their organization. Well, um, and then not talking about the war and um, having complete support for Ukraine so the support doesn't falter. It's what the organization is for. And trying to see how even this is. Because I did use my rotary cutter and like I measured it and tried getting it where it would be even and line up. I'm kind of looking at this one block, so I'm gonna see what it's gonna be a fun skirt. Don't know if I'll get to the other one. I'll show my bread. I have it next to me. I think this one's a little shorter, or longer. And um, this term, there's the added like study. They give you like textbooks and flashcards and stuff. Um, and then there's assignments and quizzes that go along with them. So I've been trying to put together the questions so that I could study from them. Um, the added quiz kind of piles up on top of that. But I did finish the quizzes from this week too. So I'm going to just maybe quickly add them in because there's like a game on the website that helps with the memory because it's like blocks and then you match the term with the um, definition or the term with the answer or definition. And it's nice that it doesn't feel like really pressured because you're only trying to beat your score because they time you on it. They don't give you all the questions at once, but every time you like do it, it starts a new set of questions that are from the um questions that you put in. Maybe it is gonna be straight. Ooh. Then I decided to I got bird food today because I figured I would go since I was up in the morning. And I mean, I've had the regular 9 to 5 job, so it's not like I, I don't know what waking up early is. Um, but I went to get bird food first. I ran out and I wasn't sure if they liked the peanuts, but they were gone the next day because at first, like there's the pigeons and then the two pigeons and then some of the small birds. I'm not sure what they are, and then the grocery store. There's a lot of different. Um, I'm not necessarily going by the pins when I put when I sew it together, but this what it will be. This will be, I think, the back, but I'm happy. I think it's this way because I'm seeing what the lineup will be. Well, I did put them in a certain way so that the colors were like mainly the same colors don't go together. And we'll see how many of the smaller pins I have because I do prefer them. I know there's like the other pins, but I feel like they're the least damaging. I don't know if maybe I'm being too rough with my pins and when I just put them into the fabric. But I had like sometimes where like I put it and then it would like I don't think you would say tear, but you would see like a line. And I don't know if I was like being too aggressive with it. Let's see this one. Let me reference it. Because sometimes I have multiple of certain colors, like the red, I have a good amount of. So I try not to, well, I don't have any of them, at least next to each other. But I did do a little bit on my motanka. I'm still wondering what I'm doing. I know it's like, what is that? Well, I kind of had an inspiration of like doing something more woodland and maybe fox-like. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna have this one, but it really like the shape of the fabric fits. And I'm trying to see how to put the fabric together without sewing it because I did sew the last one, but you, I read that you don't really sew them. So, but I also have this fabric that I wanted, and they have the plaid too. So I don't know if I want to do this one as like maybe more of the main color. And I wasn't sure if I was gonna do the head, and I have the gold. I have this too. I feel like it's gonna be fall-like, so um I'll keep it for here, but I kind of worked on it maybe like the second time I was uh going to have the interview. So I was wondering where I would put this side and if it felt like maybe I could have it as a tail, but I don't know. I'm still thinking that's why it's been a slower process and I still have this. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna like maybe oh okay, maybe I could do that because at first I was like, does that head really go? But maybe I'll just they tend to blend the head in. Um, so I think that could be it, something. And then my bread is here. I might do a couple more minutes. I don't know if you'll be able to see the bread. with the details, but um, I did do a little bit of a different method with this one. I think it rose more, and it's looking like how I want it to look like. It's still soft on the inside. I added the water like I took it out for the second half when I took the lid off, but I might spray or sprinkle a little bit on the bread. I'll see. And then I only had like a pizza pan at the bottom. So like we use um the the soap that we have in the lab, it like really takes off the stuff on your nails, like if you have anything on them. So definitely a good thing, but well, I am happy with how the design is. I'll have a closer video to show the details of it, but I'm on a good track with it. Um, I still do really like the soft dough when I kept the water in there the whole time. It didn't brown as much. This one, it has a nice crisp or like crunch. Um, I might, for the one that has less moisture, I might add more salt. I'm not sure because I do, when I make it super soft, I tend to salt it, and it works for how I want it to be. And I do like salt in my food. I like having a lot of flavor. There's just something about the way that the soft bread was cooking that it like really amplified like how you tasted the salt. So I added a gram less, but I think I can add like maybe the grams that was um shown in the recipe, and I did most of the recipe as is. So I am still working on, well, how to use the Dutch oven, and I'm happy with the recipe. You just try to make it to your taste. And it already tastes amazing when the recipe is what it is. I added less rye flour, and it's like the perfect amount of sourdough taste for me. Because sometimes when you add a lot of rye flour, it gives like a, not a whole wheat, but it tastes more like that direction of flavor. I'm excited for this skirt. I think it might be maybe like how it finishes, how I finish the week off with, well, I don't think I'll finish it next week, but um, I don't mind like a long-term project because with knitting it takes longer for, well, at least the projects that I would do. It would depend on a couple of things. But I am happy that I at least got the last couple of quizzes done today, and I'm really happy that I did get accepted as a mentor. I feel like it'll open up different avenues in life, um, not just professionally, but just um, it's good to be on the good side of history and helping out when you can, or as much as you can. Also thinking about where to move at some point, because I'm not too sure uh, about the UK at the moment, because the UK is, as well, ever, people around the world can see what the news is about the US. Um, and I feel like I will talk about that more in the reading. I'm not doing an American reading as it'll still be Ukrainian readings, and of course, if people watch it and can take something from it, that they're completely welcome to. Um, but uh, maybe other stuff will evolve over time, but see where the government is and mending with what has happened. Because I don't know which countries, but it's been going around that some countries are like sending Americans back. And I do want to, well, I do say that like not everyone voted for him, and it was interesting that a lot of people say it. Um, because with the racism and prejudices takes a toll and it is expensive and a lot of consequences to the actions. So I heard Georgia, the country, that's more clarification for the US because there's a Georgia state here. Um, I feel like more countries know about our history than we know about their history. But I heard that I just spoke to myself. It's a little bit of an easier process with Georgia, and I'm not sure if it's like necessarily with just working there that there's even a lot of times when you don't even have to go to the embassy. So I kind of just thinking like a smooth process at least. Um, but I'm sure it'll pan out somewhere because I just feel like I get catapulted places. Um, I was gonna say something. Well, I was going to say more in the other reading video. I don't, maybe I should, or, um, because I feel like I'll have more of like a fuller mentioning of it there. There was some places saying that Trump got assistance from another country to help win the election, too. Because I remember there were times when some of the states would like recount their votes. It didn't really make sense to them. I think the reading will probably be after taking the exam. But I am hopeful after all that. And if it takes other countries being upset at us for a while, at the very least, the victims were able to get some justice from what happened to them. And it does look like even though he technically isn't impeached, I'm not like political, like I don't have a political background or have studied in these things, but from my impression, it looks like they're taking steps to gradually take him or to remove him from his position. So this is the second one, or the other panel. This one has a block more. And I am super excited for this project because I'm gradually learning things, and the stuff that I've been getting a grasp on, I've been trying to work on more. With the making, I am gonna make another cover because I made bowl covers. I will make another bowl cover, but I also have a larger mason jar that I threw the top off of, or threw the top out because it wasn't good anymore. It wasn't closing properly. So I put my hair oil in there because I don't wash my hair all the time. And sometimes I just put straight, you know, sometimes I just put like this straight oil on it, like without like the essential oil, but then I don't put, doesn't take a lot at all, and I don't like just pour it on there. But I also have one where I did dilute it. So that's in that container right now, and I'm gonna make a cover for that one. I finished cutting the index cards. I used the rotary cutter that I got from one of the rotary cutters that I got from Dollar Tree. And I have been just using the small one because I have the larger one, the 45 millimeter, on my good mat because I feel like the Dollar Tree one, it does, um, it's like more damaging than my other one. My other one, it kind of glides and it's more like smooth. This one is just like it jabs like into my mat. With the self-healing mat, I'm sure like it will do something, but I just use it on like some of my cheaper mats, like the small ones that I got from the dollar store, and maybe at some point like I'll replace my blades. I heard you rarely replace your blades, so I'm not too worried, and I do have another one that I wanted to travel with too. I heard that somebody retired and she was on her own, so she decided, since it was so expensive to even get with like a trailer in America, because and then you had to pay for land too, and then pay on top of that, I think for like taxes. Um, so she moved to France and she had, I don't know if she had to wait on the other luggages that weren't shipped yet. They were still in the US or she didn't receive them. But she bought a place and she carried on her sewing machine. And I was like in the interview, she's like, the person interviews, oh, you brought the essentials. And that was like exactly what my thought process was. And I thought that was crazy. And I was think it was like, maybe it was like meant to be to hear that. And I have, before getting the interview, well, talking on the interview, I did have some visions of my late grandfather, and he shows up occasionally, and I was, because I felt like it was a good thing, like the energy when I was um, getting like the idea to do this. And so I feel like maybe he was confirming, and I did see a lot of bees. I see like bees and wasps. Um, Sometimes in person, sometimes like maybe when I'm not looking for it like online, but I see it anyway. Because I saw like a video that came up of somebody also making a honey cake. And although I love honey cakes, I keep telling myself, Adrian, you can't just keep making honey cakes and eat it and just have it in the fridge. Um, because that's what I like to do. I just like to have it. And sometimes like it's not even my birthday. And I would buy myself like the birthday cakes. Like the ice cream ones with ice cream. I don't know if it's like powdered milk or something. I tend to have an easier time with it because um maybe it's not as intense of cause that would set off my um well, it's actually uh anaphylactic shock with my reaction to it sometimes, mainly heavy cream. So I do have to be careful. But with ice cream, I don't know if it's because like I've eaten so much of it over the years. Maybe my body is used to it, but with other things, especially pasta, I had to be careful with it. So, um, well, the honey cake I do make with this lactose-free sour cream. So, I think I'll go and study more and go to bed, wake up, remember that I have to study, and then it'll be Wednesday, and that'll be another term, and then uh, I have to see. I think there's two more terms. Oh yeah, I do have an appointment. I had to remind myself for my interview for my externship, and for school, and then the externship's gonna be like in October, and I I'm gonna see what my schedule is um for teaching because I think it's fun. Because I thought like teaching would be nice because I have trained at different jobs that I've had, and people seem to respond well and to understand. Um, and I don't know, maybe I could say that maybe it's because of, or maybe in general. I don't want to just say it's because I'm a Libra and they're air signs, but we thrive off of good communication. So, but I guess you could say that about anybody. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in another video. Bye. Uh, and I I hope I don't sound too tired. I'm I'm just studying.